Good morning. I'm Miriam and welcome to Miriam's Manor. I am in Good Fruit Garden today because I have my fall garden video for you guys and how I am preparing and taking out things from this spring and summer and preparing for my fall garden. I am extremely late this year. I usually have everything transplanted or installed no later than September 15th, and I didn't get everything in until October 1st. So a couple of weeks behind, but better late than never. So check this out and let me know what you think. So before I get started on this massive undertaking to prepare my fall garden, I want to give you guys a tour. So if you look back at my earlier videos, these hibiscus plants were tiny, and I, about 6 months ago, braided the stem so that it can grow like a hibiscus tree. And they have since completely grown out of control, and they do need a really good trimming. The flowers need to be cut back as well. These things were just babies when I planted them, so they've grown up quite nicely. So inside, you can see my mint here in the front is growing completely out of control, like always. My basil plant here is doing well. It's really tall. And then this little banana pepper plant, we had a storm a couple of months ago and I lost 3 really big branches off of this thing. But as you can see, it doesn't even matter. It's still so huge. And there are tons of peppers to harvest on this. I usually harvest about 30 peppers a week from this one plant. So it is definitely done well, and it's obviously in a great location. My okra right behind it here. Oh, look, there's a little tomato plant that offered itself up. But this is my okra plant. We had a lot of moisture and I got some like rust, brown rust on my okra plants that I am trying to treat with some neem oil. So I'll let you guys know how that goes over the next couple of weeks. So as you can see, this spot is bare, and a look at all of the trash here. Over the last few days, I have actually been pulling out all of these cucumber vines. That's what this is. And I have, if you notice, taken out all of my tomato plants except for a few. So I've got some stuff that are already trying to offer itself up in this bed. And I have some tomato little plants that are also offering themselves up that I'm going to relocate because we had so much moisture. My tomato plants started to get a little bit of mold and things like that on them. And so I just decided to kind of pull mostly everything and just start over. But my bell pepper plant is looking better. It actually, I know I've got a little bit of leaf curl going on still, but it's actually better than what it was a couple of weeks ago. And you can see I have a caterpillar problem. But I still have several bell peppers and clusters that are growing on this thing. It's been producing all spring and all summer, so that's been fantastic. And then right behind it here, I have my tomato plant, and this thing is massive and has grown out of control. I'm going to cut this all the way back. I know some of you are thinking like, why would you cut such a big plant? But underneath where all of the main branches are, they've actually browned, where you can see it a little bit up at the top there. And it's just not healthy at the base of the plant. So I'm just going to cut it all back and start over. But you guys can see I have a lot of work to do to get this garden in order, so let's get started. So I'm going to start off by removing some of the trash and debris that is in this bed. And I'm also going to pull out some of these roots and the dead leaves and things like that. I also need to fertilize everything. You can see that my soil has dropped quite a bit since I originally planted in these beds. So I'm also going to be topping off the beds today with a little bit more soil. I do not think this bed has been this bare since we installed it 2 years ago. I am tilling this soil so that when I lay my fertilizer, it'll go a little bit deeper into the roots where the roots are going to be. And if you notice in that corner there, I did leave one tomato plant. So I am not tilling the soil directly underneath that tomato plant, but just working around it to try not to disturb the main root system. So this is the brand of fertilizer that I used for my entire garden. Now, I did try some other ones in the past when I first got started, but this is actually the one that I prefer. It works the best. My plants seem to feed off of it well, and they produce really good fruit. And especially for my tomatoes seemed a little bit sweeter when I start using this particular fertilizer, as well as like the bone meal and the blood meal. So if you're looking to purchase a new fertilizer or wanted to try something new, this is the one that I find worked for my garden and my climate. So this is the brand of soil, if I do buy bagged soil, that I find has the least bit of gnats and things like that already in it. Now, I'm sorry that the bag is upside down, but this bag is so heavy, so I will not be flipping it back around. The brand is Kellogg, though, and it's an organic garden soil. So I'm going to open this up and add this soil to my beds and top off my beds. So now I'm going to add some bone meal to my soil, and this is the brand that I have. I don't have too much of this left, but I want to put in what I do have. It promotes root development, and it helps your little seedlings get off to a good start. It's also good for floral plants as well, so I do recommend using this if you haven't incorporated this into your garden yet. It definitely does help. So this little tomato plant that offered itself up next to my okra that I showed you earlier, I am going to take this out and transplant this back into the other bed where I usually grow my tomatoes in this pre-dug hole. So this one is done, and I have one more that I'm also going to transplant that was growing in another area of my bed. I'm going to space these about 18 inches apart and put in the next one. So I'm going to have my tomato plants in the back like usual, and then I went ahead and seeded 2 rows of lettuce in these little mounds that you see here. On the far left will be some great oak lettuce, and in the center will be spinach. On this side I have a bunch of holes close together because I'm going to plant green onions. They only need to be 3 inches apart, and these holes right in front of the trellis will be cucumbers. I did drop the cucumber and green onion seeds, but look at what happened just 2 minutes later. I am rained out, so that's all the work that I'm going to be doing for today. So thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I still have more work to do. It will probably be a couple of weeks before I get everything the way that I want it. So I will keep you guys posted on my progress, as well as for my plants entering into the garden with the hibiscus and my flowers. So if you guys have any questions for me, definitely leave me a line in the comment section and I will get back with you. Also, please give me a big thumbs up for this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click on that notification bell. And until I see you again, stay safe. God bless you. And may your life and your garden produce good fruit.